Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Today, we will follow the story of something very simple. You see it almost every day. It may be on your wall. It may be in your bathroom. It may be in your pocket. It is a mirror. A mirror looks quiet. It does not speak. It does not move. But it changed human life in a deep way. Before the mirror, people could see many things. They could see the sky. They could see trees. They could see animals. They could see other people. But they could not clearly see their own face. Our story begins long before cities, long before books, long before glass windows. It begins with water. A person walks near a calm lake. The wind is soft. The water is still. The person looks down, and suddenly there is another face in the water. At first, this must have felt strange, maybe even magical. The face moved when the person moved. The face smiled when the person smiled. The face disappeared when the water moved. The first mirror was not made by human hands. The first mirror was nature itself. But water was not easy to use. It moved too much. It changed with the wind. It became dark at night. People wanted something stronger, something they could hold, something that could show a face again and again. Thousands of years ago, people found black volcanic glass. This stone is called obsidian. It is very dark and very shiny. When people polished it carefully, it could reflect a face. The image was not perfect. It was not bright like a modern mirror, but it was enough. Imagine a person sitting in the ancient world. They hold a small black stone in their hands. They turn it toward the light. Slowly, their own face appears. Their eyes, their mouth, their hair. For the first time, they can study themselves. This was not only useful, it was powerful. A mirror did something special. It made a person feel separate from the world. It said, "This is you. This is your face. This is how others see you." Later, people learned to work with metal. They made tools. They made cups. They made weapons. And they also made mirrors. In ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, China, Greece, and Rome, people used polished copper, bronze, silver, and other metals for mirrors. These mirrors were usually small. Many were round. Some had handles. Some were decorated on the back. A rich woman could hold one in her hand. A priest could use one in a ceremony. A ruler could keep one as a beautiful object. But metal mirrors had problems. They were heavy. They were expensive. They became dull with time. People had to polish them again and again. If the metal surface was not smooth, the face looked strange. The nose might look too wide. The eyes might look unclear. Still, these old mirrors were treasures. In Egypt, mirrors were connected with beauty and light. In China, bronze mirrors often had beautiful designs on the back. Some people believed mirrors could protect a home. Some believed mirrors had a special power. This is easy to understand. A mirror shows the truth, but it also feels mysterious. It shows a world that is there, but not really there. You can see a room inside a mirror, but you cannot walk into it. You can see your face inside a mirror, but you cannot touch the other you. For a long time, metal mirrors were the best mirrors people had. Then glass changed the story. Glass was already known in the ancient world. People made beads, small bottles, and ornaments from glass. But making clear flat glass was very difficult. A good mirror needs two things. First, the front must be smooth. Second, the back must reflect light. Glass alone is not enough. A clear piece of glass lets light pass through it. To become a mirror, it needs a shiny layer behind it. The Romans made some early glass mirrors, but they were not common. They were small and not very clear. For many centuries, most people still used polished metal. The true glass mirror was waiting for better glassmaking. The next big chapter takes us to Venice. Venice was a city of water. It stood on islands in Italy. Boats moved through its canals. Merchants brought goods from many countries. Glass workers in Venice became famous across Europe. Later, many glassmakers worked on the island of Murano, near Venice. They learned to make clear glass. They learned to make beautiful glass objects. They also learned to make excellent mirrors. These mirrors were brighter and clearer than the old metal mirrors. A Venetian mirror was not just a useful object. It was a sign of wealth. Kings wanted them. Queens wanted them. Rich families wanted them. A large mirror could cost a huge amount of money. Sometimes it cost as much as a small ship. Why was it so expensive? Because the work was difficult. The glass had to be flat. The surface had to be clean. The shiny backing had to be added carefully. One mistake could destroy many days of work. The secrets of mirror making were very valuable. Venice protected them strongly. Skilled workers were not free to share their knowledge with other cities. A mirror was not only an object, it was business. It was power. But secrets do not stay in one place forever. Slowly, mirror making spread to other parts of Europe. France wanted its own great mirrors. Other countries wanted them too. Rich palaces began to fill with shining glass. One of the most famous examples is the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles in France. It was built for King Louis XIV. The hall had many large mirrors. When candles were lit, the room became full of light. The mirrors made the palace look even more powerful. At that time, mirrors changed rooms. Before mirrors, many rooms were dark. A mirror could catch light and send it around the room. It could make a small room feel larger. It could make a rich home feel grand. But ordinary people still could not buy large mirrors. For most families, a mirror was too expensive. Many people saw themselves only in water, in polished metal, or in a small piece of glass. The mirror was still a luxury. Then science opened the door. In the 19th century, a German chemist named Justus von Liebig found a better way to put a thin layer of silver onto glass. This happened in 1835. His process helped make glass mirrors more practical. This was a turning point. Mirrors could now be made more easily. Factories could produce them in larger numbers. They became cheaper. Slowly, mirrors moved from palaces into normal homes. This changed daily life. People could look at themselves every morning. They could comb their hair more carefully. They could shave more safely. They could check their clothes before going outside. A mirror became part of ordinary life. But the mirror did more than help people look clean. It changed how people thought about themselves. When you see your face every day, you notice small things. You see age. You see tired eyes. You see happiness. You see change. A mirror can be kind. It can help you prepare for the day. It can show you when you are smiling. It can remind you that you are here. But a mirror can also be difficult. It can make people worry too much about appearance. This is why the story of the mirror is also the story of human feelings. People have always wanted to know themselves. They have always asked, who am I? How do others see me? What is my place in the world? The mirror gave a simple answer, but also a deep question. It showed the outside of a person, but it could not show the heart. It could show the eyes, but it could not show courage. It could show the face, but it could not show kindness. Over time, mirrors entered art, science, and daily work. Artists used mirrors to study light and shape. Scientists used mirrors in telescopes and microscopes. Drivers used mirrors to see behind them. Doctors used small mirrors in medical work. Without mirrors, many modern tools would be harder to build. A mirror is not only for the bathroom wall. It is inside cameras. It is inside scientific instruments. It is used in lasers. It helps people study stars, light, and tiny things. So the mirror has two lives. One life is simple and personal. You stand before it in the morning. You see your face. You fix your hair. You begin your day. The other life is big and scientific. Mirrors help us look far into space and deep into nature. Think about that for a moment. The same idea that began in a quiet pool of water now helps humans look at distant galaxies. The same simple reflection that showed an ancient person their face now helps scientists study the universe. The story of the mirror is not the story of one inventor. No single person made the first mirror and changed everything at once. It was a long human journey. First water, then polished stone, then polished metal, then glass, then silvered glass, then modern mirrors. Each step needed patience. Someone had to polish stone again and again. Someone had to melt metal. Someone had to learn glass. Someone had to test chemicals. Someone had to fail many times before the reflection became clear. This is what makes the mirror interesting. It looks simple now, but behind it there are thousands of years of work. There are ancient hands. There are fire and stone. There are metal discs and glass workshops. There are scientists and craftsmen. Today, we often forget how amazing a mirror is. We walk past it quickly. We look once and leave. But for most of human history, a clear mirror was rare. To see your own face clearly was a special experience. Maybe tomorrow, when you see a mirror, you can stop for one quiet second. You can remember the lake. You can remember the black obsidian stone. You can remember the bronze disc in an ancient hand. You can remember Venice and its glassmakers. You can remember the chemist who helped bring mirrors into ordinary homes. And then you can look at your own face with a little kindness, because a mirror shows only one part of you. It shows the outside. It does not show how much you have learned. It does not show how many hard days you have survived. It does not show the good things you still want to do. A mirror is honest, but it is not complete. It gives a reflection, not a full story. The full story is inside you, in your choices, in your words, in your patience, in your heart. So this small object, quiet and shiny, has been with humanity for a very long time. It began with wonder. It grew through skill. It became part of homes, palaces, science, and art. And even today, it still asks us the same old question. When you look at yourself, what do you really see? Thank you for listening, my friends. I hope this story helped you learn English in a calm and interesting way. You are doing very well. Every story, every sentence, and every new word is one more step forward. Tell me what story you would like to hear next. And if you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be happy to see you again in the next peaceful English story.